Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Battle of the Bangers Season 5. As always, I am your host. My name is Tyler, and I am once again joined by the boys. We got Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle.
Hello.
So, we are down to the very last semifinal round before the final round of the Robot with Human Hair Battle Royale. Let's load up the bracket, see where we're at. Death of the Robot with Human Hair sealed its spot in the final round last week when it beat Son of Robot pretty handily. And today, we have the final two combatants trying to get into the final round. We have the Robot with Human Hair Part 4 versus Young Robot. And I think this might be a teeny bit closer of a match, possibly. I could be jinxing this whole thing. You guys could just be like, fuck, Young Robot's so good, and then, it's just over. But, I think that Part 4 has some legs to stand on. I think that both these songs are contenders. I think it's going to be a clean fight. So, I'm just excited to hear what you guys have to say about this matchup. I'm gonna throw it to Brennan first.
One thing that we omitted from the last episode that I think might be the separator here. All right. Young Robot has a part in it that we, as DGD Simps, anchoring our podcast off of DGD as reliantly as we do, that every time a song has come up like this in an album review, we have given special attention to this part. And that is, of course, the Disco Sex Jam. And boy fucking howdy, does it fucking rip in Young Robot. I think if Young Robot didn't have that part, these songs would be a lot closer, and Part 4 would probably have the edge. However, Young Robot has the flutes, Young Robot has extremely tasty instrumentals, and in my opinion, what carries it over Part 4 is the Disco Sex Jam. So, that's my opinion of this matchup.
Wow. Went right to it. Right to the kill shot. Damn.
Yep.
The unexpected kill shot as well. Like, the only place where I feel like we could have rooted ourselves in a hope. Just immediately, wow, get it out of my face.
Yep. I'm putting the ball in your guys' court now. This is...
You speak a lot of truth, because, when I think of the term Disco Sex Jam, coined by me, but hopefully colloquialized by the DGD community at this point. I don't know if I used that word correctly, and I don't care if I did or not. You know what I meant. And this is the part that I think of. Like, this is the one that sticks out to me as the disco-iest, sexiest, jammiest part, in all of DGD history, yet to be topped ever since then. It's so funky, fresh, and good. I remember the night that this song was released. I just happened to come across it 5 minutes after they posted the video, and I was like, "Ooh, new DGD before I go to bed. This will make my night a little bit better." And I listened to it, and it started with flutes, and I was like, "Woo, flutes!" And then I sat there and I laid there and I listened to it, and I was like, cool. And then the Disco Sex Jam hit me, and I was stupefied. I was laying in my bed, and I laid even deeper than I was laying when it started, and I sank so far into the bed because of the Disco Sex Jam, the pressure it was putting on my body and my soul was just so viscous, and it really just hit me in all the good ways. And I shit you not, I listened to that song 8 times in a row before I went to bed. From that moment, I have never in my life ever listened to a song from DGD or any other band that many times in a row upon first listen. I've never been hit by a song and been like, that part was so sick nasty, I gotta put that in my head 15 more times. directly before I go to sleep. And then I went the next day, I was driving to work, and I just put that song on loop while I was driving. And then I drove home for lunch. I did the same thing. I drove back to work after lunch. I did the same thing. I listened to that song a lot because that Disco Sex Jam was so funky, fresh, and good. Does that make it a better song than Part 4? I don't know. But that's just a thing that happened to me. Kyle, talk now, please.
After that, all that argument, does that help? Don't know. Told a story. Kyle, what do you got going on? No, it's no secret I adore Young Robot. I mean, flashback to our Mothership review, I argued it to be the best song on that album. Very hard, possibly phone throw inducing hard. But I love this track. I think both of you hit it right on the head. The fact that the Disco Sex Jam is here is what lifts this song to such high regard. But I personally think the whole track has a lot of really awesome things in it. It's just when the song peaks so hard right in the middle, it does get the rest of it does get a tad shadowed out at times in my mind. But as far as specifically the Disco Sex Jam goes, because that seems to be what we're really targeted in this matchup, it's just, not only is it written in such a way that it makes you feel so fucking good, but on top of the Disco Sex Jam, it also builds over the time as you comes back in, the flute comes in harder, and the second time you get the main riff of the Disco Sex Jam. You've got the layered vocals that are just constantly building as you're going, and just it's Tillian singing really low, but also really fucking high with the tone of the flute in there. It just creates this thing that is so unique to this moment in DGD history, because they don't really use the flute, so that combination of sounds is literally a little bottle of lightning in this moment, and it's so fucking tasty. And the way that they release it back in the end of the track, I think, is really fucking satisfying, especially with a little ooze in there in the next part right after the Disco Sex Jam as it transitions out. The song is just fucking incredible. I think, though, to compare it to Death of the Robot, or not Death of the Robot, Robot Part 4, that's where we're at. God, robots everywhere. They're so confusing to keep up with. Robot 4. I think Robot 4 is also, especially on that album, one of the catchiest tracks. So I think in that comparison alone, we've got two very, catchy, well-known things for, parts of the songs in my mind. It's just one kind of outclasses the other to me. And not to throw disrespect on Part 4 at all, because I think that track is super fucking solid, especially when you look at that album and the way that it slots into Acceptance Speech. It is just such a shining star, a little beacon as you're going through an already banging album. So it deserves a ton of respect. It deserves to be here in my mind, in the top 4 for sure in my mind. But I think this is where it deserves to end. I think it's great, but not the greatest. So this is it, baby. Young Robots, my vote.
I agree with all of that. I think Brennan does too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think Young Robot wins this landslide, if I'm being honest.
Cool. It's like Genocide 2, but less so. A respectable genocide.
Respect.
If such a thing exists. It does here, I guess. Young Robot is moving on to the final round of the Robot with Human Hair Battle Royale, where it's going to take on Death of the Robot with Human Hair. 2 absolute gladiators going into the arena for the final round. I think that this is objectively the best possible final matchup we could have. I think that
100%.
These two songs are titans compared to a lot of the rest of the songs that we've discussed. No bad songs on the bracket this time, but
for sure,
these two are just titans, man. And I genuinely don't know who's going to win. I could be swayed either way.
Fuck yeah.
We'll see. I mean, is Death really immortal? We'll find out.
Cool. Well, if you would like to find out what happens on the next installment, the final installment of Battle of the Bangers Season 5, Robot with Human Hair Battle Royale, make sure you're subscribed to the Talks a Lot Boys and you ringle-dangle the bell so you get notified right when the episode drops. You can technically still watch it if you're not subscribed, but we'll know and we'll frown. So,
don't make us
keep that
frown.
in mind. Also, make sure you like this video if you did like it, because how else are we going to know that you liked the video if you didn't like it physically by clicking the like button? It's just, we are not psychic. We can't know. Also, please comment below and let us know who you think should have won this matchup. Do you agree with us or do you disagree with us? Let us know. Call us dumb. We're all for it. And yeah, that's going to do it for today, I guess. So we have been the Talks a Lot Boys. We will talk a whole lot more next time. Bye.